before empires were carved in stone, before crowns were forged from blood, there existed a land where the light of wisdom and the shadow of power lived side by side. This is the story of the Mauryan Empire, a name that once echoed across mountains, forests, and the hearts of men, from the deserts of Gandhara to the southern seas of Tamilakam. 2 centuries after Chandragupta Maurya laid its foundation, the empire had reached its golden age, and at its center stood Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka, known to history as beloved of the gods, a warrior once feared for his ruthlessness, a ruler who painted his name in the red of conquest. But even lions bleed, and on the blood-soaked battlefields of Kalinga, Ashoka found not victory, but truth. The rivers ran crimson, hundreds of thousands lay lifeless, and in that silence, Ashoka heard something greater than the cry of war, the cry of his own soul. He laid down his sword and took up the path of ahimsa. The empire changed with him. The roar of armies was replaced by the chants of monks. Pillars of conquest became pillars of peace. Across the vast lands, he spread the message of ahimsa, compassion, and truth. Let the empire stand united through peace and through Dharma. For years, the Mauryan Empire stood not as a power of fear, but as a beacon of enlightenment. But even under the brightest sun, shadows linger. Ashoka's heart had found peace, but not all shared his vision. Within his court, ministers and generals began to whisper. The treasury grew thin. Temples and monasteries rose instead of fortresses. The once mighty army stood idle, restless, forgotten. And in the quiet corners of the palace, ambition stirred. In his final years, Ashoka withdrew into silence. He spoke less, meditated often, and watched his empire drift like sand between his fingers. His family is long gone. His ministers divided. When the Emperor of Peace closed his eyes for the last time, a great light went out of Bharat. But what rose in its place was something darker. With the Lion of Dharma gone, the empire stood leaderless, like a temple without its deity. The ministers began their games, each claiming loyalty, while sharpening their daggers behind silken smiles. One among them, Minister Raktadeva, saw opportunity. He had once advised Ashoka, but envied the monks who held the emperor's ear. He believed peace had made the empire weak, and that strength must return. Through fear, Raktadeva began gathering allies, generals, merchants, spies. He promised gold, power, and a return to the true Mauryan might. But not all were blind to his hunger. Among the empire's secret guardians, the Gupta Sena, whispers spread that darkness was rising again. A hidden order, sworn to protect the empire's ideals, watched closely from the shadows, whose foundation was laid by the great Chanakya himself. They were monks, spies, philosophers, men and women of no fame, no family name. They believed truth was eternal, but rulers were temporary. As the empire's moral pillars began to crumble, they vowed to preserve empire's morals by any means necessary. They called themselves Ananta Dharma Niti, the shadows of righteousness. And from their silent oaths, the first creed was born. Beyond the palace, provinces began to rebel. Tax collectors were ambushed, temples looted, generals betrayed their posts. The empire was bleeding from within. In the heart of Magadha, Minister Raktadeva prepared to crown himself the next emperor, but unknown to him, The shadows were already watching. A hooded figure moved unseen through the crowd, silent as dusk, swift as thought. The empire had forgotten the lesson of Kalinga, but the shadows remembered. And as greed rose to the throne, truth sharpened its blade. From the ashes of Dharma, a new war would begin. A war not for power, nor for wealth, but for the soul of Bharat itself. In every empire's glory lies its undoing, and in every shadow, a spark of truth awaits. This is the beginning.